What you think, man?
I've been in the polyamory lifestyle. I can't even say lifestyle because it's not a lifestyle. It's a way of loving, not a way of living. I've been polyamorous for about 10 years now.
Okay.
And the mindset for me is mentally, I think I've been polyamorous longer than actually practicing it because I've always felt that this like monogamy just doesn't fit for me.
Right.
I don't understand why I have to only love one person or why I can only show affection for one person. Where is this written? Why do I have to go along with what the societal standard supposedly is?
Right.
And then the problem comes when you love somebody too much. When you let yourself love somebody too much,
and they don't love you the same.
It's not even matter whether they love you back or not. They can love you back, but it's still unhealthy to love somebody that much. Which I understand that ideology of that. Well, I can't have. I might as well. I've been there. I know that. But at the same time, you have to realize, what your culpability is in a relationship going, however it went. You start thinking about, well, damn, I did this. So, you can love somebody too much. And then, see, this complicates things for us men because we already have a hard time forming those emotional attachments. You already told them, don't do that.
The missing link to that goes back to a time before we even thought, why doesn't my father like that? Is that a protection for me?
Right.
Or is that the way he was raised? Or maybe somebody hugged him one day, a man hugged him. I'm not saying this is what happened, but I'm just saying we got
No, but there are things that could have happened that absolutely that caused him to be the way he is.
Made him feel weird, needed.
Right.
So the things that we think are sometimes a rejection or a lack may have been a protection.
And most of the time they are. Like absolutely. So if we don't understand that, all we know is the rejection.
You see, like what I understand with my father,
men were going to jail, killing each other, and then now we got bisexual, then we got gays, now we got transgender. So with all of that going on, the purpose of that was removing the black man, the black male from the household. Okay? So with him not being in the household, she's getting the welfare, or she's out there in the workforce, forced to take care of herself, and if she have children, to take care of the children alone. Whether he's in jail, whether he's dead, whether he's bisexual, whether he's gay, whatever. The black male was removed from the home, and black woman was forced to provide for the children, for herself.
You're missing one other thing that removes black male from the home. That's white women. Because after white was a run on black men, white women. Yeah, white women. At one point, black men, they just had to have a white woman. No matter what their social economical status was, white women was the way to go. And so that pulled a lot of black men out of the house.
Damn, I sure missed that. I mean, I know Rick James, I know, you did it. I just didn't think of that as a major absence of the black man. So
being a provider means so many things.
Right.
It means put you in a house. It means I got your back. It means we're doing this together. It means I'm not gonna walk away when things get hard. That's providing, right? I'm gonna provide emotional protection so that you can, I'll be present for you when you don't feel like you can be there for yourself or whatever, so there's so much more definition to the thing, right? And even on the flip side, looking at, the men with kids, right? I remember I did not want a man who had kids. And I was about 25 when I met my ex-husband and stuff like that.
And here we go. Was that in which another day, another blessing, I always like to say. Another day, another blessing. Let's see here. Okay. George, what's happening with you?
Nothing much. Just enjoying thunderstorms this evening, ready to dive into tonight's topic.
Uh-oh. Yeah, it's an interesting one. And we're gonna dump into it because it's a few trending topics, but this one can touch a lot of areas, and so we're gonna dive right on into it. Because I got mixed feelings on it. I mean, I get it, and I played. I dabbed in it a little bit in my lifetime. But I don't know. My encounter was kind of weird.
Yeah.
So, I'm probably going to touch up on that too on this topic. But what brought us to that topic was this trending photo. And like I say, we talk about trending social and entertainment things. So when I seen this, I saw it, I ignored it. Then everywhere I started looking as the days went by, this photo was more and more and more popping up, more and more and more popping up. And now the women of color, Black women, are trying to jump ship. But this came up when she was saying that they treat them like, let me see what it says, no more broke Black boys. That's what stood out. So that lets me know right there that he used to talking to, she has a what you want to say, a class of guys that she's talking about. This doesn't fit everyone. You see what I'm saying? She's speaking from the young lady that made this post is speaking from what she knows, her reality.
Right. And what that picture kind of illuminates for me is that she's the type of woman that wouldn't be conducive to a man that's trying to build something. She wants to come into somebody that's already established, already got the bag and all that. Whereas it's sometimes as Black men, it takes us a little longer to get where we want to be economically. She wants it ready made. And that's just really what this is to me. Now, if she found what she like, if he like her, she like him, she like it, I love it. But one thing I found coming up a lot of times when you have Black women that exclusively pursue, other races, they tend to have an attitude toward Black men that's very condescending.
Why do you think they have an attitude?
Because
they're really shamed deep down on what they're doing.
I don't think it's a matter of shame. And I'm just speaking from my experiences that I've had coming up. A lot of them do have they tend to look down their nose on a lot of Black men. And I think that's maybe because of some trauma or their experience or daddy issues. And I'm not saying it goes that deep with this young lady, but I mean, I definitely wouldn't do it that way. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, but okay. Black men been saying that about white women and other races of women, other nationality of women since the beginning of time. And now it's a problem when Black woman said, well, that Black woman seemed like out of hurt with the broke Black boys, but white women, and I don't know if you had the chance, to date one, but I have, and white women tend to treat their men a tad bit better, with respect. And that's why I said on here last week. Mine is black, but she was raised right. It's kind of a black white girl kind of thing. I get the respect and the treatment, that the white woman gets.
But before we continue, let's clarify one thing. So I don't want to offend anybody. When we say that women of other races may treat black men better, we don't mean better, we mean different. It's different. It's not.
Well, it depends on what your better. It depends on what your better is. Because
it depends on what I need from that mate. That's what I'm saying. See, I one man's impression of better may not necessarily be mine. It's just certain things I regard that are unique to me from a mate that, maybe the women I've encountered, because I don't want to just paint with a broad brush and say all black, and even though we're going to end up doing it anyway.
Yeah.
But it's just the people that I've run into have not, until late, been of the sort that can provide me what I need for me to be a good partner and the best man I can be. So I think a lot of black women nowadays are not equipped to do that for black men because of society, because of the way they've been raised, because of the indoctrination, because of social media. They have that they don't know how to build anything anymore. They don't know how to collaborate with a man anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because
is it they don't know how, or is it they just don't want to?
I think it's both. I think because of a lot of the trauma that many women go through in relationships, especially if you're predominantly involved with black men, that's going to leave a stain on you to the point where, you don't know, you forgot. First of all, it's like we always talk about the breakdown of the black family at the end of segregation, when integration started. That also caused a chasm between men and women. And it's not just black women that are like that. It's a lot of white women getting like that too. I notice it's more pronounced these days. But anytime you had a breakup of the black family, you were gonna have this. So now it's just a result. Women have had to be strong and independent. So they feel like they don't need a man. So they not apt to really support the man in the way a man needs to be supported. They think it's giving them money. They think it's this. Now it's something deep on the level that I think we have lost sight of as a diaspora and as a people.
Austin, welcome to the stage. How you doing there, sir?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
How you good? How you doing? I had to put that on the bigger on the screen, but this will prompt the topic for the night. This trending photo right here, and like I say, the only thing that that got me was, when she said no more broke black boys. But that like I say, that means she's probably messed like, and she did say boys. She didn't say men. Well, she didn't say men. And it just says white men are way better, and they treat us black queens like goddesses, like the goddesses we are. Everybody meet Joe. Okay, so black queens, and I spoke on this a while back. Every black woman is not a queen. Every black woman is not no damn black queen. So y'all can scratch that shit, throw it in the trash. Just like all black men aren't kings. It's how you carry yourself. It's how you respect yourself. It's how you carry yourself in public. It's more to being a queen. You need to look up Google the qualities of a queen and the qualities of a king. If you just walking around here just because you black and you able to shake your ass on Instagram and social media and show your ass and titties, that don't make you, that don't qualify you as no goddamn queen. So that's number one. And the way she calling broke black boys, that's not queen language. That's not queen vocabulary. That's not what queens say. So us black queens, y'all gotta take that shit. Every black woman is not no damn queen. No, sir. But yeah, I seen that.
When it comes down to with men and women, you speaking to about, not all women are queens. Well, a lot of times I think modern women, and I see this a lot with black women, is they tend to ignore their character. They quick to flash their flesh. They quick to do this. They quick to show us bent over and show us their thought pocket, but they don't talk about their character. So, you know, that's the thing too, because they don't understand that's what a man really looks for, especially when he looks for a wife, is a woman with some integrity and some character. So they trying to attract, you know, they using the wrong kind of bait and get mad when they catching the wrong kind of fish.
And I think that's what happened with her. Broke
Right.
boys, that means her dating circle sound like it was younger guys that didn't have no money. And what these women are doing, they're messing with these pole hustling dope boys with the Jordans, with the J's, selling for, you know, they a backup pole hustling weed man, pill man, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not building. He don't know how to build. And then when she end up, you know, he moving in with her and living off welfare, she able to kick him out when she want to. But when it's the 1st and the 15th, 1st, 3rd, and the 15th, when the dope money rolling, they super in love. You know, it's how they're living. And then she comes off, okay, so she gets this middle-aged, a little above middle-aged white guy that then watched probably a couple of Sexy Red videos, and now he wants him a what they call nigga girl.
Right.
So and then it's how he looked, man. And don't get me wrong. And Austin know this. One of my closest, best like friends, white. His brother was my roommate. I had a room at their house. So, you know, I had my own room at his crib. And his folks was, his mom was known to be prejudiced. And, but his brother was cool. His brother was my roommate in college. And I had a room, like I said, at his house. So it's not a racist thing. It's just that some of them have ill intentions. And then in the back of their minds, you don't know, especially at that age, because he came from the way he looked, and I know they age a little quicker, but the way he looked, he seemed like he fell amongst the baby boomers or something. So that group was segregated. A lot of them were still segregated. And what happens in the back of his mind when he is stabbing them? You know what I'm saying? A black bee. You know, you don't know what's going on in his mind. I'm just saying.
I feel like you know, there's some people out there that are in interracial relationships that actually fell in love, right? But I feel that there are some out there that are on both sides that are fulfilling fantasies.
Mm-hmm.
So the white man that's dating the black female, then they're fulfilling their fantasy,
fetish, right?
And then the black girl that's dating the white guy, she's fulfilling her fantasy. Oh, I got me a white dude. He got money. Blase, blase, blase. That part of it. Then the black dude that's dating the white girl. Oh, I got me a white chick. I done leveled up. So I'm living in my fantasy. And then the white girl that's dating the black guy. Oh, I got me a black guy. I'm biting off the forbidden fruit. I'm living taboo. Well, so I just feel like in a lot of cases that especially the older generation that's dating young black girls or whatever, then they're fulfilling this fantasy that they had of dating an exotic, if you will. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think anecdotally or figuratively or in any other kind of way that she would be wrong, except when she referenced broke black boys. If she would have said, I met this person, he treat me good and it's fine, that would have been one thing. But when she started throwing in the broke black boys, that's
that's the only part that really 100% stood out. No more broke black boys. Well, you chose to mess with them young black boys.
Right.
And you know, I was talking to my wife about this weekend that you attract the type of people, or you get the type of people that you attract. So you attracting these type of guys, right? And then you are allowing yourself to be with these dudes, right? So is it you or is it them?
Yeah. Exactly. And let me make one point. Put the picture back up for 1 second for me. All right. He looked like he really got some. Now looking at her, and if she got the attitude of no more broke black boys, how much longer you think it's gonna be before he's sick of her ass? She ain't got no long shelf life. She not turned around hugging him. She's not embracing him. She got a boot showing her ass, and he up there smiling like he got some. That's a bad look, right? It'd be different if they was in a warm embrace, or if she was kissing him on the cheek, or if they were holding hands. That'd be one thing. But look at what she's showing. Come on, man.
If they were coupled up like this.
Right. Yeah. I don't think she'd be catching. She still catch hell for the black boys comment, but at least you could say, well, maybe they really like each other. But come on, bro.
Exactly. So that's again speaking to that. That is what I'm talking about, fulfilling their fantasies, right? That's fulfilling.
So she got her a white sugar daddy, and he got him a black bitch, a fetish. Realistically speaking, and we're just talking about what the picture looked like. Now, they may be lovey-dovey. They may end up being couple of the year. I mean, of 2025. I don't know. But from the looks of it, because, and two, she looks like she'd have probably been ran through. She'd have probably had a whole bunch of run-ins with her saying no more broke black boys. She'd probably had fights with them. They didn't fought her. They didn't spent her income tax. And so she probably got kids. She probably got 3 or 4 kids, crumb snatchers by 3 different baby daddies. And that's what she gives off. And now all of a sudden she got this white guy that's trick on. Well, guess what? I used to work around those white guys at a strip club I worked at in Monroe. And they would get them women, then they'll come back and talk about them to their friends. Man, I had this black bitch, and that's what they say. And I would hear it, but she getting money out of him. He go get her Popeyes, he'll give her some on her light bill, and then her job is to serve him when he calls. So, and then I also know about the guy that also fell in that baby boomer bunch, and he would say if he couldn't pay for it, he didn't want it because he wanted to be able to, she do her service, he paid, and she ain't got to call him no more for nothing. And this was a black guy, but he was messing with the young girls. And he was like, he'd rather pay for the service because he don't owe rent, he don't owe food, he don't owe nothing. She can't call him in the middle of the week and say, hey, I need money for this and I need money for that, because he asked her price. And if she said 200, she said 40, whatever, he would pay her. And that was it. So that guy seemed like he enjoying himself now. He probably been married twice, had a nasty divorce, last divorce, and was nasty. And now he got him a woman that has little or nothing that he can give a little something to, and she's happy. He go buy a Chanel bag and that hold her for 2 months.
A Chanel bag.
Well, see, what nigga alludes to is that many people view and many relationships are now more transactional than anything. You know what I'm saying? Back when I was kind of out there dating and talking to different women, it was very transactional. Where you gonna take me? It wasn't ever about the time and anything.
I ain't never met that.
Right, so
the deal with the white dating, when I did it, it wasn't transactional. If anything, she was buying everything for me. She was, like I say, they actually treat you like a fucking king. And when you dealing with the angry black woman, not a lot of them, but the angry black woman, which was slowly coming into flourishing back then.
Right.
The angry black woman. And then you get that treatment where they have your bathrobe out. You come home, they have food ready. When you come to their house, they have food ready. They're more concerned about your health than they. Are you okay? Do you need to eat? Did you want me to pay that for you? And when you're not hearing that from the black woman, that's why a lot of black guys say they treat them like kings. They go and buy them robes and name brand slippers to put on their feet when they get out the tub. They buy them expensive Creed cologne and things. So,
but you know why that is, though? I'll tell you why that is. Because there's been such a culture and climate of disrespect toward the black men that many black women no longer respect us. See, that's somebody you treat you like when you respect them. So there's such an emphasis on disrespecting men and disrespecting each other nowadays. There's no respect there. You know what I'm saying? So, maybe, men and women of other races have not been colored. They don't see that hue when they look at us. They don't see, they may be more apt to seeing us as individuals. This man is deserving of respect. And may not even be painted with a broad brush. We may be looked at more as individuals in those instances. Because a lot of angry black women just gonna generalize and say all black men, and it may not even been the majority of men they was involved with. If they get one or two bad hits, it's gonna color the other 10.
Well, if you eat at this restaurant and you go back 3 or 4 times, and let's say you went 4 times, and 3 out of 4 of those times you got bad service, right? So you're going to go ahead and leave that restaurant alone. You're going to deem that restaurant as bad. So, but the restaurant that you went to, right? It's in a bad part of town, low social economical whatever, and barely can get anybody to work there. But you go in there and expecting service like you're going to a 5-star restaurant. So what I'm saying by that is the type of person that you select as your person or your partner or your mate or whoever for that time being, you already should know what you're getting. You already see what you're getting. You already see what they're about. But you have so many people that think they want this type of person. Like at one point, thugs were a big thing, right? So you get this person that's in and out of jail. You get this person that beats on you. You get this person that don't want to work. But that's what you wanted for that period of time. Now you want something different. So you want to label everything that you wanted in the past as bad, right? But it was good at the time. But now you want to paint everyone with that broad brush and say that they're all bad. They're all bad. All black guys are bad. I don't want to deal with any of them. But you selected the ones that thought they were bad. You wanted a thug, right? So all I'm saying is you set yourself up for what you want. I was in the military. I dated everything, right? I've dated every different type of a woman that you can think of. And I haven't had those experiences that a lot of black men say that they've had, right? Yep, I have. I've dated some strong-willed women. But that's what I chose. I chose women that that want to speak their mind, that speaks their mind, because that's what I like. So, but I didn't get the ones that was disrespectful in public, rolling their eyes and doing all this and doing all that. Now, I did have a few relationships that were bad, but it did not make me paint a particular group of women, race of women, with a broad brush and saying that this group is bad and this group is good.
So you didn't label everybody under one?
No, because I had a different experience with each and every one of them.
Right.
Right.
Now, the only thing with me, with the white situation was what we ran into when we was at the Waffle House. That's the flashback. That's why I never went back to that. As far as taking them serious, because when we was at the Waffle House that night, and she and I was outside talking, and the police asked her, was everything all right? You know, we was having a heated situation outside of the Waffle House, and the white cop pulled up in West Monroe and was like, is everything okay? And I said, yeah, we good. He said, no, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to her. And she just stood there. And I'm looking at her like Ice Cube said in that song, the bitch I was with, she wasn't saying nothing. I said, hey, yo, bitch, you better tell him something. And she was just standing there. And then he was sitting there, and then she eventually came out and said, no, we're fine. We're fine. I'm good. I'm fine. And then after that, I don't even remember talking to her too many times, if any, after that incident. And y'all were in there eating, Austin. And I know you saw the incident. But after that, I'm like, my life really could have been in danger there. And the bitch didn't say shit. So no matter how nice, attractive, or
Yep.
a serious I'm gonna date relationship, I just never went back. Not saying that all of them are bad, but that experience really fucked with me because I wasn't ready for that, especially from that one. So I wouldn't go. I don't. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, you do have a lot of situations where those you can be exploited when there is turmoil in the relationship. So one can always scream that there's an issue, especially then if you have a cop that is biased that comes out, right? Then, and he's ready to take action because he doesn't like your situation anyway.
Right. And that's what the black girl need to be looking at too. Everybody's not going to accept. You have to be built for that.
Right. You have to be used to it. You have to be ready for the stares. You have to be ready for the whispers. Even in this day and time, you still have to deal with it. So if you're not cut out for it, don't even get into it.
So I was watching the show that I was telling you about, Black, Later Daters, and this guy, he was like,
"Oh yeah, George, that's a show that we need to watch because we're gonna have an episode on it. Later Daters."
Okay,
on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. I never heard of it. He told me about it, but yeah, we need to sit probably this weekend and let's watch a few episodes because that's what the topic is gonna be about next Wednesday.
All right.
So this guy, he was like, all I date are black women. And then the black lady was like, well, I've never been in an interracial relationship, a real one, right? So at the end of it, when they did that little interview, he was like, I probably wouldn't date her because she hasn't been in a interracial relationship, and you have to be ready,
conditioned
for that type of relationship because of the things that you're going to encounter in that relationship,
especially these days. I mean, actually, I thought that it would get better as time went on. I really did. But it didn't. Because I thought when I was in my situation that it was an okay time. But when he pulled up and said what he said and was sitting there looking, you know, reality kicked in at that moment. And I'm like, this shit ain't, you know what I'm saying? No. When you don't have time for the bullshit, you don't want to deal with the bullshit.
Right.
And that's what it was.
I tell y'all this. I was out this past weekend and I was dealing with them stairs. I was, you know, not real bad, but I was dealing with them whispers, and it didn't matter to us. So, you know, you got to be cut out for that because that's something you got to deal with. You know, you got to deal with family. You got to deal with friends not being accepted. It's a lot to navigate. So, you know, but if you're not cut out for it, it's not for you.
Yeah, I thought I was until that night.
Yeah, and you know, and it's not only from, you know, white people, but you. Black, you know who I'm talking about, but when I was dating this chick from Nicaragua, and we were rolling, we stopped at a light, and the brothers, they were out there, and he was like, "Man, look, I give you this, because you're not supposed to be with her." And then when we went out to like Hispanic restaurants or places or wherever, and where there was a large Hispanic population, we got stares there.
Right.
So if you're going to cross that line and date outside of your race, then you're gonna have to know how to deal with some stuff. You're gonna have to be thick-skinned. You're gonna have to be able to deal with some words. You're gonna have to be able to deal with some looks. You're gonna have to be able to deal with some stares. You're gonna have to be able to deal with that.
Yeah, I'm cool with the stares. It was the officer that got me, Mr. Officer that got me. Right. But I'm cool with the stares. I get that even when I'm with black women, just because she with DJ Black. Let me see who he talking to, type of shit. So I get that. But it was when that cop say, "Are you all right?" I said, "Yes, sir. We all right. We all right, sir. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to her." And then she just stood her ass up there. I don't know what her mind was on. I don't know why she hesitated, but that was the wrong shit to do. And we was in West Monroe in the Hick town, Hick Park, at a Waffle House. So go figure. We was the only specs in the building. The guy we was with was even white. It was 2 specs in there. And she pulled up. We had some words that night. And she pulled up. She found out where I was. She pulled up. I went outside to talk. And that officer pulled up. He seen her hands moving or whatever. She talked with her hands. "You all right? Everything's all right?" I said, "Yes, sir. We good. We fine. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to her." And she just staring at me. And I'm like, "What the fuck?" You know, like she knew. I don't know. It was just some crazy shit, man. And I was like, you know what? I'm getting out of this shit. And I that's the last thing I really remember about her. So I think after we left that place, I don't think I talked to her again. Because whatever we was into it about had to be something deep for her to find me and me to go outside and say some stuff to her. But I think after we left that place, I never seen her again. Yeah. But it's on block. But yeah, you have to be prepared when y'all doing this interracial dating thing. It's something, but
Men are saying our people in general, our women in particular, don't give us enough latitude to be our full spectrum of men. You give that latitude to white men, who are the reason that this whole thing happened in the first place. Because the fucked up thing about it is, we were told stories about ourselves by these people. We believe those stories, and then we run away to those people.
I mean, I don't really know what too much to say about that clip, you know, other than the fact that there is a negative narrative placed upon black men in terms of us not being good fathers and not being good men. And like Austin was saying, I think in many instances where you have bitter, angry black women, that it's not that black men were the issues, it was the black men that they were choosing. So, I mean, there are plenty of us out here that are ambitious, industrious, good fathers, good husbands, making things work, good mates, good partners. But the narrative that oftentimes mainstream or white America gives you is that we are the antithesis of that. So, you know, I just proves Austin's point even more that it's who you choosing. You know, when you get bitter or you keep having bad experiences, it's who you choosing, because it's options out there. But you whether it be because of your own choices, or own trauma, keep ending up in the same situation. At some point, you gotta look at yourself.
On the cool, I think it's more of bad experience, like Austin was saying. Right. I think it's more like you and Austin was saying. It's you're encountering bad experiences, and so you want to try something new. But if you're the common denominator, if you've dated good guys, thugs, breadwinners, money makers, respectful, if you've dated all these guys and y'all still broke up and they ended up in a terrible situation, sometimes we have to pause and look in the mirror.
Right.
But instead, our women don't like looking in the mirror, because accountability is a major thing with the black woman. A lot of the black women, like I say, and when I speak, I'm speaking allegedly, not even allegedly. A lot of the black women, because I see it just about everybody I see. Accountability is a hard thing now for our women to grasp, and I try to teach it to all of them that I talk to. When they come to me with situations with their relationships, it's about that accountability. What did you do? What part did you play in him checking your phone? What part did you play with him not trusting you? What part do you play in him calling you on the phone 24/7 when you out with your friend girls? What did you do? Accountability. What's wrong with saying, I fucked up, my bad? But for some reason, a lot of black women don't want to accept the responsibility of their fuck ups. Well, and I used to be like that, and I'm sure Austin used to be like that. We wanted to be perfect, but the best thing I ever did was just fuck up, because everybody used to mess up around me, and all I get is I'm sorry. Right. And I'm the one who's trying to be perfect, and this with anybody I'm dealing with. I want to be the perfect one. So then I fucked up one day, and I was just like, shit, my bad, I'm sorry, and that felt so good. I see why they didn't give a shit about what they did, and just said I'm sorry. So I started taking accountability. So now I'll tell people anything. If you want to point the finger, okay, I'll take the blame. But blame me for putting a hole in the ozone layer. It don't matter, because there's nothing you're gonna do about it.
Yeah, but a lot of times though, when you're dealing with women and accountability, it's not that they really sorry, it's they sorry they got caught. And it's gonna repeat the same behavior.
That's probably why they don't say it. They don't say they sorry. That's why you get no accountability. You know, so I just hate that I saw the black boy part, the broke black boys. That if I wouldn't have seen that, I was cool, because I was like, okay, because we've been preaching white women treat men like king, they treat us better, and that's an excuse. Austin brought up the other, even in the intro, Austin said how when men get money, black men get a certain economical status, they date a white woman. You know what I'm saying? And that white woman, the difference in dating a lot of times, the difference in dating a black woman and a white woman when you got money or an athlete and all that, the white woman gonna be ready to splurge and show out and be material. That white woman gonna get in there, she gonna find your endorsements, she gonna get your accountants together. Right. She finna donate to charities. She finna get you right. She's not gonna be about that. Let's get this Bugatti. Let me go get this. Let's get that. Around her friends looking down.
Of course, there's always exceptions to the rule.
True. True.
On both sides.
True.
Now, because we have some
Gold digging
mothers-
white women too.
I'm about to say we have some mothers of some of the young black athletes that negotiated their contract. Nope, blacks that negotiated their contracts, that have them doing their endorsements. So we have some really intelligent black women out there that are doing their thing. But the funny thing is, their sons are dating white women.
Yeah. Yeah, because just because you're good in a maternal role as far as handling things for your child, don't mean you fit to be anybody's wife. You can negotiate your son contract all day, but that don't mean you can get your man a damn thing. You might just be good in that role, and that's your station, you know.
Well, I mean, if she's good in that role, then she's gonna be good in that role. Period.
No,
So
not necessarily. Not if you don't have the skills to be a good mate. It don't matter what aptitude you bring in. If you don't have those skills, you're not healed enough to be a good mate. It's not gonna work. If no matter what, it's plenty of women that can do things for a living that they cannot do. They cannot or will not do for their husband because they're not equipped to be a mate. They're not ready to be a mate.
Just like a lot of men not equipped to be leaders.
That's right. A lot of them are.
Now we can make a baby though, but we're not equipped to. We not mentally or emotionally equipped to be fathers.
Yeah,
exactly.
You can make a baby and then you can abandon the mother and then go out and create a whole new family.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, but yeah, a lot of the time, but that's why a lot of the men back then ran to the white women because it was less drama. And then she stepped in that role a lot of times and became his secretary per se.
Is it really less drama? Or is it just different drama?
I think the reason I say less is because a lot of black women, especially today, I haven't dealt with it, but I see it a lot. They're more disrespectful. They're more loud. They're more masculine.
You just hit it. It's masculine because we tired of masculine ass women.
And so that's big drama to a real man, to an alpha male, to have a woman that's trying to be harder than him. Well, whereas a lot of times a white woman will show you more of a soft spot. A lot of times. Then, like I say, not all. And when I speak, I'm not speaking all women, all black women, but a lot of them. And just like that lady, therapist lady, Amana, whatever her name is, she said she called black women men in skirts because a lot of them are mean and they're masculine. You don't see too many white women walking around being hard and trying to fight their men. Not a lot of them.
But let's look at where that comes from.
Yeah, the stress and strain we put on them, but that don't make it right. We go through a whole lot of hell until we come home beating the hell out of our wives.
But they do. A lot of them do.
Yeah, and but I'm saying, does that make it right? Does that make it right?
It doesn't make it right. But again, when this person has been having to be the man and the woman, they've had to carry the load. They can't depend on whatever person that they selected, which caused them to have to take on that role, right? Now, my wife has been in roles where she had to be the dominant one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, in this role, her current role, she doesn't have to do that. Now, every now and then, she does some stuff, and I'll be like, babe, what the freak you doing that? Well, you was taking too long, blase, blase, blase. Because I get around to it when I'm going to get around to it, right? The trash can be high, and I have one more thing that I say can go in there before we take it out. But she wanted to take it out then, so she takes it out. All right, cool. So sometimes you do that, right? But a number of women, they keep selecting those type of men where they have to be the male of the relationship, and they're expected to be the woman of the relationship. So it's hard for them to turn it off, even when they find someone where they can settle down and be in the role that they're supposed to, the role that supposed to fit them.
Right. But at what point is that going to change? At what point is that going to no longer be an excuse when we get back to some femininity in our communities? At what point?
Probably when we start getting some men in our communities. Some men that are actually men, some men that are actually that stand up for what that role says and stands for, right? And again, that changes in every household.
Yeah.
But the core of it is still the same, right?
Right.
So whatever your protection is, whatever your security is, whatever your providing is, those things are still the same. They just look different in every household.
Right. So it's going to essentially take healing for men and women, men addressing their mental health, emotional health. So we can do that. Women doing their healing.
I feel like this too, though, because I'm a strong advocate of it's not my fault. Why do one person, why do this guy have to suffer for what that guy did? And that's where your therapies come in at. But a lot of women comes in relationships broken and they expect that man to be all together.
Well, they come in those relationships broken and expect that man to heal that brokenness when that's not what that person is there for. They can hold you in your brokenness while you build or get help to put yourself back together.
Mm-hmm.
You're still going to have those cracks, because even if you put a vase back together in most cases with glue, you're still going to have cracks. So it's still going to show up every now and then, right?
Right.
That's how you're able to handle those cracks when you see them.
Right.
And and that's why it's hard for a lot of men of today to date Black women because of the baggage.
Right.
When they're 35 plus, their baggage is hell because they done been through so much, whether it's deadbeat baby daddies, whether it's toxic relationships, and then they get with a man and he has to deal with all of that. Men are also broken, but they tend to handle their situations, a lot of them, not all of them. So when I speak, I'm not speaking as a bass hole.
Yeah.
A lot of them tend to handle their situations a little bit better. We're not.
I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say better. I'm gonna do what I did earlier. I'm gonna say they handle them different, because with a lot of men, we handle them issues, but we internalize it. So it come out in different ways. But I do think that more Black men nowadays gonna be more open to therapy, and then you're gonna see a shift, because we'll do our own healing. Because like when she said the broke Black boys coming, you know what immediately came to my mind?
What?
That she emasculated a whole genre of men. She made us less than. She made us seem like we're not worthy of her. So that plays on the Black man's psyche. So that's why healing these relationships, you have to heal as an individual first. Because if you got a broken person here and a broken person there, all you got is a bunch of pieces. Unless that person you with, or unless you on the path of healing some kind of way, because we all got trauma and stuff.
Yeah.
There's no point even trying to be in a relationship.
And you know what else? George, mate, if she's not working on self-worthiness and bettering herself, he's not gonna be with her.
No, I won't.
He has to see that. Now pick this one up.
I think being a Black woman, and being with you as a white man, that really exacerbated my feeling of having to be on all the time, because I've only been with Black men, really. The men that I grew up with, even if I didn't date them, they were a certain type of guy, like a tough guy. Yeah. A hard guy. What'd you say to me, bitch? Kind of guy. Because you're not like that. I felt like I had to adopt those hyper masculine traits, and that put me in a place where I felt like I had to be hard for myself, for my own protection, because you weren't hard to the world. And that wasn't something that computed to me. And I think that being with you made me feel like I had to be even more hard, because it's like, you're not going to notice when I walk into a place and I'm getting looks because I'm black, or you might not notice all the microaggressions.
Over time, that's something I'm definitely aware of, and making sure that you feel comfortable in those situations. And if, you know, we need to leave, or if we need to get out of
That motherfucker talking about leaving. I ain't leaving nowhere. I done paid to get in, nigga. We gonna have to go and square it up. He talking about if we have to leave. I'm like, but that goes back to what Austin was saying. Right. If she's been through where she has to be hardcore, have to be the man and the woman in the relationship. So I get what he's saying on that. I get it.
And one thing is, men, I think sometimes we forget is that, you know, women need to feel protected. And I didn't even see that clip in terms of black and white. I just saw it as a woman telling a man she don't feel protected by him. And if a woman don't feel protected by you, she's not gonna have no, you know.
Yeah, I did peep that too. I was like, she basically calling him a little pussy boy.
Right.
You know. And then he's sitting there like trying to justify, you know. But what if one of her exes that's from the streets just got through doing a bid, see her at the club, he full of them drugs, and he say something to her out of the way.
Yeah, he ain't gonna go down swinging. So she already know that. She already peeped that guy. It ain't the fact he had to win, but she at least want to go down, swing, and throw a punch, get a lick, do something. But he ain't the type that's gonna do that. He gonna curl up.
Yeah, and he still was agreeing. And if we have to leave,
we have to leave.
Way.
No.
You didn't pay $50 for both of y'all, so you looking at $100 to get in the club, and you just bought your bottle, $150 bottle of Dawn or something. And then somebody's staring at her and you got to leave, and they don't let you take the bottle out. Because I know here in the clubs, they don't want you taking your alcohol out. So you have to either drink it in there or leave it. You can't even take a daiquiri in a cup out of the damn restaurant here. So it's like, I done paid too much money getting here. We finna go and scrap this shit out, and we're going to see who the best man or who going to live or something. Because I ain't finna leave.
Her giving him the Dear John speech was more related to him being a wimp than opposed to him being white. You know, so that's what that was all about.
So I don't know, but the interracial dating thing is very interesting. But I think a lot of the black women that's trying to jump out there, the younger black women, I'm gonna say, that's trying to jump out there now, the 25s and maybe 30, 35s. They're trying to jump out there, or even the 40s. The 40s that's doing it, don't nobody really want them. They've already been ran through their age group, and a couple years under, a couple years older. And so they didn't find no success in that dating. So now, let me try another race. And then they're going to, more than likely, a lot of them push up on the guys. They flirt too hard. Even when the white women would do it, or certain black women do it to me, that's a turnoff when they flirt too hard. That's a turnoff.
Yeah. Right.
And that's I don't like that. That's too. I don't care for that.
It's thirsty. It's thirsty. That's what it is.
But that's what a lot of them do.
Right.
And the younger ones that's doing it is something different. They probably started having sex 13, 14 years old, getting dogged out by these new Gen Zs, and they want something different.
Right.
So they'll take like us say it's a fantasy. Let me just get this corny white guy. I'm gonna date him. But when she's talking to her friends and going down her TikTok and Instagram, she talking to the black guys. So it's like it's you get a few that's genuine.
Yeah.
You get a few that's genuine. Like Austin, I know you remember Shamithia and what's that dude name? Last name was Mann, wasn't it? Scotty Mann or something.
Scotty Mann, I think so.
Now they tried to be an interracial couple in school, and they picked the wrong time because one day at lunch, all hell broke loose, boy. Them blacks and whites was at it, man. That shit was deep in the front of the high school, yo. But but it was wild. But you know, the class that Austin and I were in, social as well as grade, we had a lot of white friends. They accepted us. It was certain white people that they didn't accept, but we were, I mean, certain black people that the whites didn't accept, but we were an exception. Mm-hmm. And I used to, and I don't know if Austin was with us, but I used to get invited to the party. And I just thought about this the other day. I was talking to the wife about it. This white group would invite me to their parties. Like, we would throw a party at the TAC house, and then they'll throw a party at the cafeteria of the people who own the TAC house. It was on one big lot. Their group was called No Flies. Okay. Back then, we didn't know what it meant. So me and Renard and I don't know if Austin or Tater was with us, but they would invite us to their parties. And so one time I had the crew with me, and we was getting ready to go to my party. I had already set up. My party was getting ready to start. Their party had already started. And so I tried to go in the building. So they let me and Nard in, and then they stopped two other guys that was with us and said they couldn't come in. They like stopped them at the door. And we was like, well, if they can't come in, you know, we ain't coming in. And they was like, man, I'm sorry, but we don't know them, so they can't come in. And I think I had Rue with me though. And we just looked at them, Nard and I, and we looked around their building to see what they had, and then we came back out. But no flies. And as I thought about it, no flies really meant no niggas. And, and it didn't dawn on me. I was last week, day old, as they say. And I was like, damn. But it was a group called they had a group called No Flies.
Right. I mean, you still got sundown towns. You still got small towns where they have a sign up saying niggas be out of town by sundown. That still goes on. You know, so I don't think this ever gonna change. But yeah, you got a lot of that, especially on college campuses and prep schools. You know, you have a lot of that, you know, going on. So
I just say when they out there trying to do this interracial thing, man, I just hope it's sincere and y'all in it for the right things. Peep this one out.
I just wrote an article on Medium.com. That's where I've been at lately. But it was something like, black women, stop assuming that white men will treat you better. And I have to say that because every time I scroll up, I'm seeing something with a black woman and a white man that says, go where your love, sis. Or, yeah, black women deserve to be treated better. The whole thing is white doesn't mean right. Okay, you should be with somebody that takes care of you and treats you good, not for the color of their skin, but because that's who they are, all right, for their character. And the sad part is a lot of women think that what they're getting is so phenomenal, while there's other women that feel like that's just the normal routine to them. So when you say being treated better than what? What is better to you? Okay, so we have to get that out there, because one thing that you're going to find out is a lot of times people just be putting up the image, but you don't know what's going on in the background.
And like y'all say, it's whatever your better is. Because if you being treated like crap and you allowing it, he cursing you out, and vice versa. She cursing you out, you know, and you allowing it. That's your fault to me. Right. Like I say, I know what I'm gonna accept and I know what I'm not. And I'm fortunate enough to have options, and I'm fortunate enough to know I have options and I have self-love and all that. So you're not gonna treat me a certain way, degrade me, because I know I don't need you. You know what I'm saying? So that was my attitude growing up. And so I don't tolerate nothing that I feel like I don't have to tolerate. And I'm cool with them, with people doing you. You do you. But when I start doing me, when I start meing, I don't want to hear nothing. And then when I get tired of you doing you, I'm gonna let you know, and then I know how to get out of it. So when they say treat you better, it's you allowing yourself to get treated that way. So I don't have no sympathy for nobody who sits there and take abuse, verbal or mental, and damn sure not physical, when you know your worth and you need to get out of it.
Yeah.
So if you run into the opposite to another race because of how you allow your race to treat you, that seems like a personal you problem to me.
Right. Well, the key is to recognize your value, and people, till people start doing the work on themselves to heal their mental health and emotional health and start recognizing their own value, like I said earlier. And I say this till the day I die. You can't endeavor into no partnership with nobody unless you on the path to healing, or on the path of progression, or a path of doing something, or on the path of purpose. You're not.
And you know what?
You're sitting on the side.
You know what, Austin? Listening to him, if I was in the dating pool like him, mine would have to be almost healed or going through healing. I see what he's saying now, and that wasn't an issue because therapy really wasn't talked about a lot, you know what I'm saying, around me. We just listened to the hell they went through, and we just try not to be that person, to be that repeated person to them.
Right.
But if she's not working on herself, that can be a problem, because she's gonna have that it's gonna resurface. It's gonna come back. I might say something that triggers something that happened in a past relationship, and I'm thinking it's something light, but it bothers the shit out of her. And I'm like, all I did was, and all I said was. And then when you're dealing with a person like me that's quick to shut down and move around, that's not a good thing. You know what I'm saying? So I would have to date someone that's working on herself.
Yeah, that's right. Because here's the thing about, when you don't deal with your trauma and your emotional and mental stuff, you get triggered very easily. And one thing I'm always proponent for stating is that you're responsible for your triggers. Nobody can tiptoe around your ass because you're traumatized about something you didn't deal with. You know what I'm saying? And that's another big problem. So, for me, you have to be on the path of healing and progression, because that's what I'm on every day. Every day I'm trying to get better. Every day I'm making. So if somebody's not doing that too, or if I don't see that, I'm not gonna have them interest in them. Nothing's more attractive to me in a woman than character and purpose. If she got a character and purpose, that's what I'm looking for. Now, a different man my age may be looking for something different. You may be looking for something different. But regardless of the race or socioeconomic background or anything like that, it's about finding that person that aligns with your values, your principles, where you want to go, and who you want to be. Now, it may be a white, maybe a black woman. Just find the right person.
Off the grid, so far the new one is meeting that, y'all.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Okay. Now, I know you probably haven't dived into what issues, though. You know what I'm saying? Mental abuse, verbal abuse, sexual abuse. Have y'all dived into that to see?
Yeah, we dove into very deep water, but here's the thing: you got to be transparent in relationships. Like what Austin was saying earlier about putting up an image and doing this and doing that. I'm totally transparent, bro. I told my story 1,000,000 times, and she telling me hers. So getting that all out the way, that's where a lot of relationships, white, black, white, dog, cat, whatever, mess up. Because when you meet somebody, you're not being open, you're not being transparent about what's going on. If you open and transparent, and both of y'all that way, you get a lot of this stuff out the way. If you talk about things that could be issues later, you get a lot of stuff out the way. So a lot of people.
she actually opened up honestly and tell you some things.
Yeah.
And I be mixed on that sometime too, because like Austin, I'm a very visually vivid visually person. I really don't want to know too much about your past. Not too much. Certain things mess with me, and it shouldn't.
Well, it's not about what the past you know. Here's what it's about. It's not about what you hear. It's not about the information that's being transmitted about this person. It's about seeing them as being transparent. It's not so much what they say. Listen to how they say what they say. If they like, okay, I went to the store. If they not, if you don't feel like they leaving out details, if you feel like they're being real with you, if you feel like they're not leaving things out or not lying by omission, it goes a long way. It goes a long way. So it may not even be, I'm sure there are things that'll come out in time.
Right.
But
right.
I'm feeling comfortable and safe in this space because I'm being transparent. I feel like they are too. So that's what makes the difference.
Well, Austin, let me ask you this, because I know I am. Have you ever talked to somebody and you think that they just might be that person, but then they get to telling you their past and then you kind of change your mind? They uncles ran trains on them, or they brother had sex with them.
Yeah. When unfortunately I'm not able to untie my vision of what they're presenting to it can't be overridden by my feelings for them. So I mean that's been an issue of mine.
Mine too.
I know it is. So
and because I would meet them and I'd be like, yes. And then when they get to talking, and then I did this, and then when I was 16, they ran a train on me in the back of the bus. We went to go see Pinocchio, and I'm sitting there like, dang. My boyfriend made me have sex with his cousin and his best friend that was next door.
Well, here's how I kind of reconcile it. Because here's how I reconcile it. I'm gonna look at a person for how they treat me going forward. That's how I'm gonna play it. I'm just gonna run it that way.
They used me as a slut in college for the alphas.
Well,
I had to sleep with 8 of them.
All I'm gonna say is I ain't know you then. So.
And George, that takes a lot of strength. You are stronger than me in that area.
I mean, hell, look at the shit I been through. Y'all know me the past year and a half, and y'all seen my journey. So yeah, I'm pretty secure where I want to be and what's important to me now. So
yeah, and I wish I could be like that. I really do.
I salute him because I'll be wanting to, because I walked away from a whole lot of them when they got to talking about all the shit they've been through and stuff, and they had to do this. And
I even tried to reconcile in my brain all of the things that I've done in my past, and her having to forgive me, for a lot of things that I did. But I'm like, I'm gonna put mine out to you, and if you accept it, then you accept it. You put yours out to me, and if I reject it, I'm gonna reject it.
So don't tell it to me. Like, I'm not gonna say who it was, but somebody close to me was dating somebody, and then he jumped up and did a quick kind of marriage thing. Okay. And while he was married, she decides to run her mouth and tell all the hell she'd been through for some reason. And so, you know how the pastors be holding these single meetings and retreats trying to hook up the single people in the church. Right. So she was sitting with a deacon, and she ended up having sex with the deacon of the church, with one of the deacons in the church. And she told the guy that, and he became very disrespectful after that. When they get into it, he would bring that up. So I just think a lot of times guys have a harder time digesting things that their mates have done in the past or whatever. It's just a harder time. It's kind of like we can do a train, but if you find out your girl had a train ran on it, she's the worst person in the world. You know what I'm saying? And it shouldn't be like that, but it's like that. That's like in the cheating situation. Men can cheat and think it's okay, but when a woman do it, men can cheat and a woman will forgive him a lot of the times. But as soon as a woman cheat, that man ready for divorce. He out the door. It's over. You know what I'm saying? So men don't handle things as well as a lot of women. A lot of men don't. So I don't care to hear a lot of stuff that happened in your past, especially sexually. I don't care to hear it. I just really don't. You know what I'm saying? Because in the middle of sex, I may think about that shit and I'm not interested in you no more. So I just choose to get out of those conversations. I'm like, don't tell me shit about your past. We living in the present, the now, and the future. Right, I don't want to know about your past. And if I know about your past, I know how far to go with you. I'm not finna, it ain't finna be the whole town and Scrooge, and then I screw you one time and now my nose wide open and I'm trying to marry you. No, sir. You're gonna serve the purpose if I decide to do that. But the fact that certain guys then hit, I'm not interested. That's just me. Crazy, but that's just me.
Right.
And then this, who treats you better?
Who treats black men better? Black women or non-black women?
Oh no, he didn't.
Well, first off, I'll say this. I was born from a black woman. I got black sisters, so I definitely respect all my beautiful black queens. You know what I'm saying? And I dated majority of black women all my life. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? I mean, up until the last 25 years, when I started indulging in, different nationalities or whatever, I was basically on the page of, black women, which is all good. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing wrong with that.
So my experience is basically like, I'm going to say the other race. The other races, rather. And the reason why I say that is, bro, because number one, they treat us like fucking kings.
They treat them like kings. And why is that, fellas? Why do you think it's such a difference that the other races treat black men? Because a black man is a black man no matter where he go. His history is his history. Whether they known for not being shit, right, whether they known for being thugs and thieves. Why do other races tend to treat these men much better than their own women, their own race of women?
It's different. And usually when you find something different, you tend to approach it a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? And then, like Austin was saying earlier, too, like he was alluding to, it's the fantasy aspect for some people. You get your fantasy come true, hell, you're going to nurture it. You finally get that bike you want, you're going to ride the hell out of it. You're going to shine it every day. You're going to put a whistle on it and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So if you feel like you got something, yeah, you're going to do it a little bit different.
It's just like a brand new relationship.
Right.
In the beginning of your relationship, you're on cloud 9. Mm-hmm. You think everything is great. You're treating that relationship like it was the best thing that you've ever had. And then reality sets in. Mm-hmm. And then you get used to what that thing is, and you start taking things for granted. Right?
Yeah. And that's what I was gonna say. And I'm gonna be more active on TikTok. But that's my thing. Black men tend to get content a lot of times. And when a black man get content, that's when a lot of times the black woman takes advantage of that contentness, because a lot of times black men just sit back. They don't live by whatever you did to get her, you got to keep it up. You know what I'm saying? You got to do that to keep them. A lot of times men just get content. And then when the men get content, the women see them, a lot of times the women see them as being boring.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when idle minds and a lot of times the cheating sets in from those actions.
Well, their contentment is so insidious because it's not just relegated to our relationships. Their contentment in black men we often find in other aspects of our life, whether it be our health or our job or our income. We get content. We saying it's okay, it's good enough. If you're not willing to grind and keep progressing and doing things in other areas of your life, your relationship is going to inevitably suffer from that.
But like we've had guys come on here that want to work 24/7 because they feel like they trying to get their
because they ain't happy
family on another level, but that woman didn't appreciate that.
Well, then you talking about a whole other issue. You talking about a flawed other person. Now I only can speak for myself as a man as far as things I want, but if you're dealing with an ungrateful woman, ain't no cure for that but to get rid of her.
Yeah.
That's one of the worst things, an ungrateful woman. You know what I'm saying? You already know that's a red flag. If she ungrateful, I've had positions I dealt with some ungrateful ass women in the past. You think they still around now? No, they was gone. Don't ever deal with an ungrateful woman. And it's a matter of what you would, as a man, are willing to accept. You know, is that okay for you? Are you okay being disrespected? Well, you're gonna only get a certain type of woman, white, black, or whatever, especially a black woman. You know, so you better recognize your self-value and be working on yourself and get with somebody that's working on themselves too. That's the thing. You got all these broken people trying to have relationships. It don't work like that. How much of us, like, you know, we talk about trauma all the time. You got unresolved trauma. You got stuff you're not healing. You have to be on a path of progression. You have to be equally yoked. And equally yoked does not always refer to the spiritual realm. It can refer to mindset. It can refer to health. It can refer just natural yin and yang. But if your stuff ain't together, no matter what's going on, you're gonna have those things getting in the way.
Hey, Austin. You just reminded me of some of our cousin said to me. Derek said when he had met the one of my relationships, the one that he met, when I left him and I walked to the truck. I left out the house. I walked him to his truck. And he said, you're not going to be in that relationship long. I said, why you say that? He said, y'all not equally yoked. And I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, so, you know, that's Derek, whatever. And he wasn't lying. Like, he said that, and I think maybe 2 or 3 years later, that shit was over.
Mm-hmm.
So I started learning what equally yoked meant. Mm-hmm. And she wasn't equally low. He knew I was with somebody that I was just being with, content. It wasn't no connection. He's like, y'all not equally yoked. And I don't know where he came from out of the blue. When I walked him to the truck, he said, you sure you know what you're doing? I said, yeah, man, we've been together a few years. He said, man, y'all not equally yoked. You're not going to be in that relationship long. I'm like, whatever, you know, I call, you know, you space age, you on another planet. But he told me that, and I'd be damned if he wasn't right.
Right.
So yeah, it's out there, man, with these relationships. But this is what men go through here too. Now, we always talk about the struggles and what the black women go through, and I salute that, and I'm very sympathetic. But black men go through a hell of a lot too, trying to deal with these broken black
men
women.
Are always expected to step out in front, take the slings and arrows and the bullets, such and so forth, and all they want is a place to lay their head and hear you say, baby, I love you, it's gonna be all right, I got you. But black men, when they deal with black women, can't even get a moment of peace. Matter of fact, black women are so proud of this shit. Monique made a comedy bit about it. He said Becky will have an argument with her man at night, but in the morning she'll be like, hey, buddy, love you. Here's your eggs and such and so forth. Give him a little blowjob because she know he got to get out there and compete. No, but a black woman wake her ass up early in the morning, takes 3 shots of Red Bull, 2 cups of coffee to talk to you all the way until you get in your car, call you on the way there, and be bothering you while you're in your office. Fuck with you.
No white couple have an argument in the morning time. She gonna cut that short because she don't want to fuck with him. He got to go make that paper. She's gonna say, hey, all that I said, sorry, not our black ass. We don't give a fuck about having no argument in the morning.
So that's a different thing. That's a different thing too, because y'all know our black women can be very dramatic, and with that drama comes disrespect.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So it's on both sides, yes, indeed. But I've seen it more on the black side.
Well, and I think that's because they feel like they haven't been heard and they want to be heard. So therefore, if they're feeling like they're not getting their point across, then they keep at it until they feel like they are being heard and understood of what their point is. So I think that's more of the thing.
Well, I think a lot of it too comes down to the fact that men, black men, black women, we don't know how to communicate and we don't understand. Communication is two parts. One is being an active listener, not just hearing somebody, but listening and processing what they're saying. The other part is being able to articulate yourself in an effective way without cussing, without screaming, without throwing shit at me, without making a baby cry. Being able to communicate in a way where I will be receptive to what you're saying, and then we can make some headway. It requires dialogue. It requires discourse, and we're not taught that because that's not what society now wants us to be. It wants us to be loud, flamboyant, even if we are being heard. Because me personally, when somebody start yelling, I ain't heard nothing else they said after that. If you come at me with the right time, and it goes for men, women, children, anything. Once you start yelling at me, I set you off. So we have to learn how to communicate and try new ways to revolutionize our communication so it can be more effective, and maybe we can avoid some of these problems in our communities as well.
Yeah, that communication part, all that yelling and trying to get a point across, like Austin was saying, I ain't with that. I ain't with that. I heard what you said, and I'm done with it. I'm gonna make sure that conversation is pretty much to the very end before that day is over, before that night, before I lay down, because I don't care to wake up, listen to the same shit that we were just arguing about last night. Right. And I got to go to work. I feel like you fucking with me at that point.
Right.
And so I'm not. It's just certain things I don't tolerate, and I haven't tolerated. I don't have to tolerate. And it's just certain things. I'll let. We talked about that last night. We said we're gonna agree to disagree, or I can't take it back. All I can say is I'm sorry. I did what I did. You did what you did. It's just up to me whether I accept it, whether you accept it. And if we can't, let's come to an agreement and move on. I ain't about all that arguing crap.
Right. Right.
And even so-called in a heated situation, I talk. I ain't gonna be yelling and losing my voice. I'll sit right there and so calmly and say, you know what, you go to hell, and you can kiss my ass, and it's whatever, and fuck you too. I'm the calmest arguing person you ever want to get into it with. I ain't finna be I used to do that. That's over with. I don't do that.
Yeah, it don't ever work that way.
Unfortunately, well, normally I'm pretty cool, calm, collective until you hit that right spot. Unfortunately, my last relationship was able to push me beyond who I normally am, consistently and constantly. So when I was in other situations with people of other races, I've never had that to go like that. Well, and I can't say never, maybe two other times, and they were both black women too. But then there was one particular other one that I was dating, and she was the same way. So there were 4 occasions out of all the relationships that I've ever been in that caused me to, I allowed myself to come out of character based on some of the things and actions that they did, right? And so, again, that's the reason I'm saying that is because it doesn't matter the race of that person, because each one of them has a person that can still be toxic and cause toxicity in a relationship, right? So, and this particular person, she was used to dealing with black men. That's all she dated. So I don't know if you know, you can say sometimes they take on that persona of a black woman because they want to emulate
all that
that
naked shit and
right.
trying to use their lingo and
I don't know if they want to emulate that.
Yeah,
and
that's the turn off. I would if I date a white girl, that heifer gonna be white. If I was to date one, if I'm dating a white girl, she gonna be white as hell. She gonna be, what was that, Crystal Gale white? Who is the whitest woman on TV now? She gonna be that shit. I ain't getting no niggerized white girl. That's the case. You might as well just stay in a black relationship.
Well, so what I'm saying is it doesn't matter what the race is, you're still going to deal with something. And if you come across the right one, then you're going to deal with toxicity, because doesn't matter, again, what race, there's some brokenness somewhere. It's just how it's handled or dealt with, and then how it's displayed.
I think the reason our race is a little bit more harsher, and it's like what you said, where they came from. So a lot of white women or other races haven't been through all the hell that black woman went through. So when you go through things with a black woman, it's on a different turned up level with a lot of them because of the hell they went through coming up, the bad relationships, the lack of father love, the whatever, the uncles molesting them. They went through a whole lot of shit. Whereas a lot of the other races, you know, white ones go through almost just as much or worse than the black ones. But let's just say other races, they probably don't go through as much hell. I didn't have to have so much weight on their backs. And like Amani, whatever that lady name, black women are men in skirts. They didn't say that about white women. They didn't say that about Asians. She said they're so angry. They're so masculine. So it's like a lot of the other races are not that, because they haven't had to go through what the black woman went through, that we as men put on them. Let's just say they're broken from childhood. Then they get with us. A lot of us black men, especially when you got your own money, taking care of yourself, got it going on, we're narcissists. You know what I'm saying? And labeled as arrogant. And so we're going to carry ourselves a certain way. We're going to treat them a certain way, especially a black man that know he don't need a black woman. So we created what we hate. That's just the bottom line. And yeah, it's different with the different races, but that black woman is those other races on fucking steroids, because like you say, she done went through so much. And when it comes out, it comes out. They gonna curse, they gonna be low down. A lot of them believe in revenge. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lot of hell. It's just a little bit more hell dealing with them because of their background and where they came from. We can try to dress it up, you know, and make it look nice, but a lot of them are like that because of their past. And like you say, it's gonna rear its head. And you put a black woman, an Asian woman, and a white woman in the same goddamn room and tell them to fight and see who really whooped their ass. I think that black woman gonna come out more victorious because of more, she done been through a little bit more hell. You know.
Yeah, but You know, at this point, if you're a man in a skirt, yeah, you choosing it. You choosing to be that way because now we have enough access to information where, hey, you got folks like me telling you, man, deal with your issues, go in therapy, do this. So if you still operating in that mindset, then that's where you comfortable at. So I guess you be comfortable peeing standing up. You know, it's just what it's gonna be. You know, if you're not willing to heal and change the things about yourself that keep getting you in this situation, keep making you feel stressed and unhappy, what the hell you expect anybody else to do? That's something you got to do. And we got to stop seeking other people for our happiness and for our peace. Once you find peace in yourself, then you can find peace in somebody else. But everybody doing it wrong. Don't nobody want to try to heal and do what they got to do so they can have the healthy relationship. It's just like a job. If you're not willing to put in the hours and the time to fortify yourself economically, you're not gonna have a dime in your name. Same deal in relationships. Ain't really no different. You're gonna get out what you put in.
True.
Yeah. And so like we all saying, we can sit out there and say it's not really the race. But a lot of times if it's not the race, it's your choice of people you're choosing to allow in your life to occupy your time.
Right.
And a lot of times when we don't want to work on ourselves, we do look for other ways out. And women love saying they have options. But I think a black man, and it's just from what I see, and from what I've heard, and from what I've read as well, statistics. I just feel like a black man will be more sincerely dating out his race, dating a white woman, an Asian woman. I think that would be more of a lot of times they are more sincere and serious in their relationships compared to, it depends on women. Black women really have to look at the background, dig into that background of that white guy before dating, before seriously dating. Sex is one thing, but seriously dating, and a lot of white women, they date to marry, especially when they're 35 plus. They're dating to marry.
Right.
Whereas the white man, he's more, a lot of them are more dating for fantasies.
Right.
Because they know that the black woman gonna ask them for money. They know that she's gonna, be ghetto. They don't trust her when she's gonna go back to the black man. Because once you go black, you never go back. And in the back of their mind, that's still there. So you just got to be cut for that if you decide to do that interracial thing. You got to be cut for it, Austin. You really do. It's deeper. You know what I'm saying? I didn't, just talking on this podcast, I start seeing so many different things that comes into play with that interracial dating, especially now. Now that we're older and wiser, it plays a different part than what it did at 25, 22, and 25 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was nothing back then. But when you get past your 30, 35 and stuff, it's different. You see things different.
Yeah.
That's true. You have to make critical decisions. It's like you can't just go to the lot and just grab a car and say, I like the way it look, and drive off that lot. You got to make sure that thing running. We know what listening to them horses up under that hood mean now. You know what I'm saying? We see a lot of pretty cars on the side of the road.
Yeah, you ain't lying about that.
You
a
know,
lot of pretty cars that lose their value real quick
as soon as you drive off a lot. So it's like you see things different. So it comes with wisdom. And that girl that's on that video, on that picture, she probably ain't no more than 30, 28, 30, what would you give her? I give her 28, 25.
Yeah, I probably
Looking at the
somewhere along up
dress.
in there. Yeah, probably somewhere along up in there.
Yeah. So, that's no experience. But once you get in your 30s, 32, 33, it's time to wise up. You gotta see things a little bit different. And so, like I say, it depends on what you want. But that look like that's gonna be a money relationship. Where she brag on her friends what he's buying her and this and that. And every now and then she gonna let Junebug come by there and tighten it up. You know what I'm saying? She's still gonna have guys, you know what I'm saying, Junebug, Ray Ray, and all them gonna still come by there and tap it every now and then. But she gonna still get that money, you know what I'm saying? And she may even get money for Junebug and Ray Ray from him. You get what I'm saying? I just don't see the way she bragging on it. It just don't seem like no sincere, relationship to me. So,
well, and then again, she may not let anybody else touch her because she feel like she's being taken care of and she doesn't want to mess that situation up for herself.
Majority of women, they don't care about messing up no relationship. Well, they'll care about it, but they sneaky enough to get away with it.
Yeah, and
they sneaky.
He might forgive her anyway.
Yeah, but with all that being said, man, it's been deep, and so is Black love losing its value? I don't think it's really losing its value. I think that people are they're not evaluating themselves, and they're looking for an easy way out. And like we said on last week's podcast, being in a relationship is not the easiest thing. It's give and take. It's give and take. And I can't label, because I made a bad choice and chose the wrong type of woman. I can't label every Black woman the worst woman in America. I can't do that, because I believe in taking accountability and acknowledging my mistakes and working to make myself better, or working to make better decisions and better choices. So I'm good with that. Anything I can learn to make myself better, I thrive. I don't have to be right all the time. I used to want to be right all the time, but I sit back sometimes and I say, you know what? Yeah, I was wrong for doing that. Or yeah, I was fucked up for doing that. That I shouldn't even done that. So I'm cool with that now. But interracial dating, you just got to be with who makes you happy. Take race out of it. Take accountability for what you're doing, what you have done. And if every time you get in a relationship, that shit goes south, man, you got to step back and say, this is my 5th or 6th relationship where I thought I had something and they left me. What am I doing wrong?
Right.
And I used to do that all the time. I used to lay in the bed when I first wake up, stare at the ceiling, do my little meditation shit. And I say, okay, what am I doing wrong? And then, and then you actually have to meditate. And then I get up on the phone calling people, hey, when I did this, that, man, my bad. I'm sorry. I do apologize for that. And then my life turn around. Let me hit 3 or 4 bad spots at one time. It's time for me to do some self-evaluations and try to find out who did I do wrong that I didn't know I did wrong to make it right. So don't just haul ass and run off to another race. Find out what's wrong with you and better yourself. Because a lot of the women that's saying that they going white is because they had bad experiences from bad choices that they made dating Black. So that's my take on it. Remove color and work on self and what you did wrong. And what you think about it, Austin, before we shut it down?
Well,
is Black love losing its value?
I don't think that it's losing its value for those that it had that has valued it in the past. So I think it's alive and thriving for those that believe in it. But for those that decide to step outside of Black love, then, you know, their love flourishes in whatever way that they decide to go. So it's not losing its value. People are just valuing other things more because they're starting to venture out. Now, when the issue is when you start to venture out based on something, right? I'm venturing out because I had bad experience with Black women. I'm venturing out because I had bad experience with Black men. So that's the reason I'm going out. So when you start painting everyone again with that broad stroke and broad brush, then that's where the issue comes into play. But if you do find someone outside of your race that you actually genuinely love and care for, then that's fine. Be happy. Do what you need to do. Be happy. But
be happy.
Yeah, but again, if you're doing it for any other
motive.
reason,
If there's a motive
if you have
behind
a motive or you have any other reason
Okay.
that you are doing it, then it's not going to.
How do you feel about that brother that says he's had a lot of bad experience with Black women, and he say the next if this relationship don't work, his next relationship gonna be with an Asian woman?
No, first
That's
of all,
a motive, or do you think it's sincere when he says that? I guess that depends on what type of person he is generally.
yeah. I mean, again, you know, you may have issues with a Ford, right? Fords are just giving you trouble
They start
all
repair
the
daily.
time.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you go get you a Toyota, and the Toyota is better. You like it? It lasts. It runs. So you're saying Toyotas are better than Fords, right?
Yeah, it's generally how it goes.
Yeah. So you're saying Toyotas are better than Fords,
Mhm.
but then say something happened with the Toyota and you have to rent a Ford. They give you a Ford as a rental car,
Right.
And it's the best thing ever, right? So now you're confused. But what I'm trying to get to is you can have all these bad experiences in a row, right? But that doesn't mean that the total line is bad.
You just probably purchased a lemon that day.
You just keep getting keep
Monday
having
morning vehicle.
Yeah, you just keep having bad situations. And then until you come into one that's actually going to change your experience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe you move from a Ford Fusion to a Ford Mustang, or a Ford car to a Ford truck.
Right. F-150, them new ones. Them bass are bad. I don't know.
Yeah. So and then you have a different experience. You have a.
Because I'm not a Ford person, but I think I will get that F-150.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So that's all I'm saying. Don't just because you have some bad experiences, don't let that ruin it for all.
Don't label the whole race. Don't let one bad apple spoil that whole bunch.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel you on that. But yeah, the bottom line is, and we about to get out of here, is to date whomever makes you comfortable, whomever show you love. It's not about color. Remove color. It's whoever shows you love. And if they just happen to be Asian, they just happen to be Caucasian, they just happen to be whatever. Embrace that and just make sure it's sincere. And as Austin said, don't go into it with a motive. My experiences here was bad, so I'm finna do this. Make it a sincere selection when you do decide to date outside the race. And me personally, I say do your background search on their family, how they were raised, how it came up. Because a lot of times, if that family was brought up kind of racist, I don't know. That you just have to do your research and hope you find somebody genuine. But you got to be cut for it, like we said on here earlier. But with all that being said, we out. And like I say, find somebody that treats you right. You know, that's the bottom line. That's all you can do. Somebody that's going to be there for you, treat you right, and show you the love, whether they black, white, yellow, what say, red, yellow, black, or white. It don't matter. But with that being said, we out. Till next week, next Wednesday night. What we say, Autumn? Peace.
What you think, man?
I've been in the polyamory lifestyle. I can't even say lifestyle because it's not a lifestyle. It's a way of loving, not a way of living. I've been polyamorous for about 10 years now. Okay. And the mindset for me is, mentally, I think I've been polyamorous longer than actually practicing it, because I've always felt that this monogamy just doesn't fit for me. Right. I don't understand why I have to only love one person, or why I can only show affection for one person. Where is this written? Why do I have to go along with what the societal standard is supposedly is?
Right.
And then
the problem comes when you love somebody too much. When you let yourself love somebody too much,
and they don't love you the same.
It's not even matter whether they love you back or not. They can love you back, but it's still unhealthy to love somebody that much. Which I understand that ideology of that. Well, I can't have. I might as well. You know, I've been there. I know that. But at the same time, you have to realize, you know, what your culpability is in a relationship going, however it went. You know, you start thinking about, well, damn, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. So, you know, you can love somebody too much. And then, see, that complicates things for us men, because we already have a hard time forming those emotional attachments. You already told don't do this.
The missing link to that goes back to a time before we even thought, you know, why doesn't my father like me? Is that a protection for me? Right. Or is that the way he was raised? Or maybe somebody hugged him one day, a man hugged him. I'm not saying this is what happened, but I'm just saying we got
No, but there are things that could have happened that absolutely that caused him to be the way he is.
Made him feel weird, needed.
Right.
So the things that we think are sometimes a rejection or a lack may have been a protection.
And most of the time they are, like absolutely. So if we don't understand that, all we know is the rejection.
You see, like what I understand with my father,
men were going to jail, killing each other, and then now we got bisexual, then we got gays, now we got transgender. So with all of that going on, the purpose of that was removing the black man, the black male from the household. Okay? So with him not being in the household, she's getting the welfare, or she's out there in the workforce, forced to take care of herself, and if she have children, to take care of the children alone. Whether he's in jail, whether he's dead, whether he's bisexual, whether he's gay, whatever. The black male was removed from the home, and black woman was forced to provide for the children, for herself.
You're missing one other thing that removes black male from the home. That's white women. Because after a while, it was run on black men, white women. Yeah, white women. You know, at one point, black men, they just had to have a white woman. No matter what their social economical status was, white women was the way to go. And so that pulled a lot of black men out of the house.
Damn, I so missed that. I mean, I know Rick James, you know, I know, you know, I mean, you did it. I just didn't think of that as a major absence of the black man. So you
being a provider means so many things.
Right.
It means put you in a house. You know, it means I got your back. It means we're doing this together. It means I'm not gonna walk away when things get hard. You know, that's providing, right? I'm gonna provide emotional protection so that you can, you know, I'll be present for you when you don't feel like you can be there for yourself or whatever, you know. So there's so much more definition to the thing, right? And even on the flip side, looking at, men with kids, right? I remember I did not want a man who had kids. And I was about 25 when I met my ex-husband.